Why did God stop the Tower of Babel? Imagine a world where everyone spoke the same language and shared the same goals. This was the reality after the Great Flood, as described in the book of Genesis. People came together to build a magnificent tower, known as the Tower of Babel, aiming to reach the heavens. But why did God intervene and stop this ambitious project? The story reveals that the builders were acting out of pride and disobedience. They wanted to make a name for themselves and avoid spreading across the earth, which was contrary to God's command after the flood. Instead of fulfilling God's desire for them to populate the earth, they sought to create a city and a tower that symbolized their independence from Him. This was a direct challenge to God's authority and plan for humanity. At that time, all people spoke one language and were united in purpose. God recognized that if they continued in their plans, nothing would be impossible for them. This unity could lead to further rebellion against God's will. To prevent this, God confused their language, causing them to no longer understand each other. This confusion halted the construction of the city and forced the people to scatter across the earth, fulfilling God's original command. The Tower of Babel story highlights important biblical themes such as human pride and the consequences of disobedience. The desire to make a name for themselves shows a refusal to trust and follow God's plan. God's intervention serves to humble humanity and reaffirm His sovereignty. It demonstrates that unity and progress without God's guidance can result in division and confusion. From a deeper biblical perspective, this narrative connects to earlier themes of rebellion against God's order, similar to the events in Genesis chapter 6. The tower itself, likely a ziggurat, represented an attempt to bring the divine realm under human control rather than submitting to God's reign. Today, the story of the Tower of Babel serves as a reminder of the dangers of pride and self-reliance that reject God's will. It encourages humility, obedience, and trust in God's plan. The narrative also teaches that unity built on God's purposes can be powerful, while unity in rebellion leads to confusion and division. Understanding this story reveals the importance of aligning human ambition with God's intentions for community and mission in the world.